Melissa Foster's history. I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I had never ever been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to the case. Melissa Foster's history. I was out of the country until a year before last. Till I entered college, I had never ever been to Eagle Mountain before. I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. I won't let her get away with these lies. Listen to me. She's neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow, you're just going to have to get her to show the court her true self. I was out of the country until a year before last. Right, let's keep pressing her then, because I don't see anything I can latch onto at the moment. So, what country were you living in then? You were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed, it was a brutal civil war. You had to try to make her way back home alone. I lost everything. Didn't even have any personal identification. How convenient! What kind of sub-story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for details? Yeah, go on. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. How many languages does she speak? What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case. Yeah, but the country might prove lies. And I can expose that she's lying about that, therefore... Come on, Henchworth. I like future you better. I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, but if she's from Fictitioner, then, you know, it's kind of obvious it's fake, because it's called Fictitioner. Yes, indeed. Well then, can we add what you've just stated to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Alright, well, that's something. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. What we got there? I was out of the country until the year before last. Maybe it's added to the end, then. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. Or is that new? Might be new. Didn't know either person. Are you certain of that? Yes. I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people. Oh, well, that can't be helped. Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? Because he's not future judge. The first time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct? Yes, it really was a coincidence, yes. Until I entered college, I had never been to Eagle Mountain before. What made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway? I just love being outdoors, picnics, hiking, you know, that sort of thing. You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to. Well, I went there once with college hiking club. You said that's a contradiction in your own testimony there. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess. Didn't know you were such a goth. What? By the way, what's the name of your college? No, that's the wrong line of questioning. The prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she is a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly malicious intent. Thank you. She's really gone too far. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here. Hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive. But that's... And I certainly don't have... But that's a contradiction. Till I entered college, I had never ever been to... Oh, no. Yeah, it's like, until I entered college, you're like, no, fair enough, then it's like... That's the difference there. It's like, I read it in my head and remembered it as I had never been to it before. It's like, oh, no. If you've been on a hiking trip, then, yeah. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car. Well, that's... Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why is that? When the witness came to the police station once they to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that, at that time, an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. Huh. That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair. That wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. A grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. How do you know this? Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. How does she know so much? My client has always maintained that he's innocent of the charges. Seems rather forgetful, your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Yes. Your client, you forgot what the detective looked like, right? How do you know that? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Oh, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. But how do you know? You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? How do you know? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. That came up earlier. She wasn't here when I was berating you for not pointing out it was blue. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day... Then he probably would have tried to kill me. It's true, he's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. The blue is going to be significant, isn't it? I was just like pointing out as like a sort of like, hey, by the way, like you should really mention that and then it get dismissed or something like that because of something else, but it's gonna be a key thing, isn't it? It feels like it's heading that way now. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Have it added to the testimony. Your Honor, what the witness said just now was tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. And that testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough. Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
Objection!
Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now, just don't mess up. That's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh, it's definitely blue. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white. You did. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? The white and the fact it's blue. It's so significant. It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... That's it, right? Yep. Witness. Have you ever seen this note? Note? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Falls' instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf? Ah! Gotcha. Witness, you knew what this note said. And it's because you knew that you slept up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? No! Guilty. Mr. Edgeworth, I am waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person, Gumshoe. Did you say one more person? Oh, and I suppose Dahlia as well, because, you know, she's mentioned. That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. It's you, Armando. The third person that knew the contents of the note were... This has got to be the point we reveal she's Dahlia. Alright, then we'll go with that instead. It's sort of like, I was going to be like, ah ha ha. It's like, yeah. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There is her name, right there. What's this? So who is this person, this Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. Oh, quite. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off a dusky bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she was still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't. Miss Faye, you're not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed, apparently, 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? I knew it, yes. Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a free alarm fire. Okay, but unless you can tie all the loose ends together, You're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. I can expose her true form. True nature. I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Witness? Just who are you, anyway? I didn't think it had come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't? You don't mean? Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conducted full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say? Huh. Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? You hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well. But, well, as you can see. Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she has been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder in the exact same place. Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning. Somehow he's turned it around on me. I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. Oh, that wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coughing fallen to the dark side addict.
Objection!
I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Huh. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me. The rashness of youth. How charming. This is coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? Well, the diamond, but I don't know how I could prove that at this point. What motive? Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. I don't think we're gonna get anything from the map, are we? I'm not gonna get anything from the scarf we haven't already got. I knew the blue stuff was important. I knew this game, it's like it being blue would not be important. Not be important. Yeah. I said what I said. Pause 4:30 p.m. at that bridge where White Scarf identification. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Ah! Because of the whole truth coming out, whatever that is. Which is clearly going to be the diamond. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. That diamond, what? A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was this secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne. And Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Diamonds are forever. Oh yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secrets between the Hawthorne sisters. Anyway, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try. My little maple leaf. My judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. This will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. Goodbye. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. Did he have a gunshot wound? I don't remember that being referenced before. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe, after all that, she murdered her sister. Preposterous. I'm very much like, when did we ever get told he got shot? I don't remember that being brought up. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye? I know there was a shot fired, but I'd assumed it hit Dahlia, so yes, Your Honor. As you heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. Huh. We're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up, we've still got that info. The ace up our sleeve. Do we? What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. What? The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. I'd do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie too. Yeah, so why would she shoot you? Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot. Yeah. I feel like the shot is the important bit. Really do. That's her secret. 5 years ago. Because if he was shot, he would have a wound. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That was a dangerous thing to do considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but actually, that saved my life. What do you mean? You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Okay. Somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. So Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. Just thinking about like the position of everyone that we saw in that image just then. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. Okay. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. Bloodthirsty grin? Oh. And in the next instant... I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When it came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Well, the only thing I can think of at this point is like, because of where everyone's positioned, if it's like, if you got pushed from behind, you got shot in the right arm, you struggled. The only thing I can think of is like she was pushed out of that little gap in the bridge itself, rather than off to the side, because it's like, this, you're more likely to grab onto the side. I mean, she could have fallen, but... just one little shove from behind, and that was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. Despite, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. I kind of want to hear all that again. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm. He let go of me. Right, let go of you. Right, so he's let go. You stood next to each other. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away. Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. You turned to try and run away. So it's like you're going up on the image, by the way, is the best way of putting it. Like up. So you're heading for that gap. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. Bloodthirsty grin? Oh! So it's like... that doesn't match what would happen. I advise the court to remember that the river is... Yeah. Like if she's running opposite direction to where those two are, to the right on this image, she's not landing in the river. Which could potentially be more dangerous, but clearly she survived, you know. Crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Just one little shove from behind, that was it. So the crumbling bridge aspect is significant. It's the fact you brought it up. It's the crumbling aspect. You didn't fall in the river. That's it. You didn't fall in the river. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Exactly. It's like, it would be worse. Do you understand now, darling Hawthorne? It's like, at a certain height, obviously water will be just as dangerous, but it's not that high. It's like it's safe for landing in the river. You'll survive the fall. Maybe a few bumps and bruises and stuff like that, but maybe like broken arms and stuff. But then you still have the issue of the river being very, very bad. But still, landing on the bedrock, as you put it, like for me, it was just like the riverbank. Like that's definite hard surface. Like hard surface that would be worse than the water tension. The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. Yeah, but it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. I mean, there could have been a flood.